The Trump administration taking steps to scale back medical research. It announced last week that human fetal tissue derived from abortions can no longer be used in research funded by the National Institutes of Health.
And the policy expands restrictions issued during President Trump's first term. Our medical expert is here to break it all down, what this move exactly means. So first and foremost, Dr. Coley, can you explain what fetal tissue research actually means and why this lends into a controversy today?
Yeah, so if you think about fetal tissue research, it looks at tissues or organs derived from human fetuses, usually in the first trimester, early second trimester. So let's say a woman decides to have an abortion. This is not part of her decision whether to donate. But once the abortion is complete, they ask her, would you like to donate your tissue for research, for biomedical research? And potentially she could say yes. So it doesn't really impact her decision, the type of abortion she has. Just after it happens, the tissue would be discarded, but instead it's being used for research.
And what type of research? What would you get out of researching what would you call it, a fetus?
Yeah, it's a human fetus. So the tissue is very different from other tissues, right? Think about what happens to adult tissues. It's got DNA damage in it. It's been exposed to environmental toxins. It's got all kinds of accumulated damage. The other thing is that fetal tissue is very plastic, right? Because a human fetus can become any type of tissue, right? Those cells can become any type of cells. So the tissue has what's called plasticity. It's also got a very different immune pattern to it as well. And so it has something called immune tolerance, which means the immune system's not developed, so it reacts in a different way. So we're talking about research on vaccines, HIV, viruses, the rubella vaccine came out of this, all types of different research that it applies to.
So what would be the impact on the medical industry if this were to happen?
Okay, so it's already sort of happened,
Okay.
right? And so it means the research that's ongoing, apparently they're not going to pull the plug on it. But in terms of future research, it may not happen with human fetal tissue. And that means things like maternal fetal transmission. So how does the mom potentially transmit something to her baby? That type of research would be affected. How do stem cell transplants or other types of transplants work, where we teach our immune system not to reject somebody else's organ? That type of research might be affected. Obviously HIV, other types of viruses, Zika, Ebola, rubella, vaccine development, those types of research would be affected. Now, thankfully, human fetal tissue research is a small part of the overall research. Most of the research we do, cancer, heart disease, metabolic syndrome, is on adult tissues. But regardless, I think the impact would be real and significant on those types of diseases and that part of medicine. And I think it's going to translate into slower drug development, slower vaccine development, and increased costs for everybody if we're prohibited from doing this type of research, again, from tissue that would otherwise have been discarded.
When it comes to advancements from the medical community, is this another version of, this administration just rolling back progress?
It feels like that. And a lot of leading researchers in this space have come out and say there's trials undergoing for Parkinson's disease, for ALS, for spinal cord victims with this type of tissue. And they haven't taken it to the point yet where they're talking about taking away stem cell research. But if you think about what a stem cell is, you can get stem cells two ways. You can get stem cells from an embryo, which is like discarded IVF type of embryos. And if they take that away, that's going to be huge as well. Or you can get them from adults, right? Because we all have stem cells in our bone marrow that can help to regenerate our cells. That's a different type of research. But my fear is that the trials that are ongoing and the future trials that really could have potentially address diseases for which we have no cure sometimes, and for things like vaccines, could really, really hit a stumbling block because they've taken away this type of research. So I've been a little surprised by the administration because they haven't been so strict as to halt everything that's ongoing. Only UCSF has an ongoing trial that they've halted right away, but every other institution has been allowed to continue what they've started. But to me, it's going to be a big question moving forward. Is this something that's here to stay? Will it go away when this administration changes?
Right. Dr. Coley, thank you for your insight and clarity. Much needed.